When my husband, David, passed away unexpectedly, my entire world collapsed. I had spent 22 years by his side, building a home, raising our only son, Matthew, and creating memories that I thought would last forever. Losing him felt like losing the ground beneath my feet. I wasn't sure how I could go on, and more importantly, how I would continue being strong for our son when I barely had the strength to get out of bed. The morning after the funeral, the house was eerily quiet. The echoes of condolences still hung in the air. Flowers crowded every corner, yet none of them could cover the emptiness I felt. Matthew, who was only 21, tried his best to appear composed, but I could see his pain in the way his shoulders slumped and his eyes avoided mine. I feared that grief would swallow us both whole. Days turned into weeks, and the silence in our home became unbearable. David had always filled the space with his laughter, his humming as he worked on little projects, or even just the sound of him turning the pages of a book. Without him, every room felt hollow. I busied myself with cleaning and cooking, though I had little appetite. Most evenings, I found myself sitting in the living room staring at David's old armchair, imagining him there with his warm smile. One particularly heavy evening, as the sun dipped low behind the trees outside, Matthew came into the room carrying a small cardboard box. He sat beside me and placed it gently on the coffee table. "Mom," he said softly, "I know things have been really hard, but I found something in Dad's workshop, and I think he wanted us to have it." Curious, I opened the box and gasped. Inside were letters, dozens of them, addressed to both of us. David had written notes over the years, each one dated, each one carrying his handwriting that I knew so well. The first letter I picked up read, "For the days when you need me most." My hands trembled as I unfolded it, and tears blurred the ink as I read his words telling me not to give up, reminding me of the love we had shared, and urging me to live fully even when he no longer could. I broke down sobbing, and Matthew wrapped his arms around me. That night, for the first time since David's passing, I felt something stir inside me: hope. It was as if David had planned this gift to remind us both that love could stretch beyond life itself. From that moment on, Matthew and I began reading one letter each week together. Sometimes the letters contained memories of family trips, sometimes small pieces of advice, and other times just encouragement written in his simple, steady voice. Slowly, our evenings transformed from silent sorrow to moments of connection. One Saturday morning, Matthew surprised me again. He walked into the kitchen, holding his laptop. "Mom," he said, "I want to show you something." On the screen was a video montage he had created, piecing together old home videos of David, him playing catch with Matthew, singing off-key during birthdays, dancing with me in the kitchen when he thought no one was watching. Matthew had spent weeks gathering footage, editing it with soft music, and adding captions with David's favorite sayings. When he pressed play, I sat frozen, tears streaming down my cheeks. It was like David was there again, filling our home with laughter and light. After the video ended, Matthew turned to me and said, "I didn't want us to only remember him through grief. I wanted us to see how much life he gave us." I was speechless. My son, who I worried would bury his feelings, had found the strength to honor his father in the most beautiful way. In that moment, I realized something important. David's spirit lived on, not just in me, but in Matthew. He had inherited his father's heart, his kindness, and his way of reminding us what truly mattered. As months passed, Matthew continued to do little things that reminded me of David. He fixed the leaky faucet just like his dad used to. He cooked David's favorite chili recipe on a cold evening and made me sit at the table to enjoy it. On my birthday, he took me to the botanical garden where David used to take me every spring. Each gesture was like a gentle reminder that I wasn't alone in my grief, that together, we could carry David's memory forward. One of the most moving moments came a year later. Matthew stood up at a family gathering and shared a speech about his father. "Dad taught me how to live, but after he passed, he taught me how to keep going," he said. "And Mom, you've taught me what strength looks like. Together, we'll keep him alive in everything we do." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. That night, when I hugged Matthew, I whispered, "You've grown into the man your father always hoped you'd be." Healing is not linear, and there are still days when the weight of loss presses hard on my chest. But every time I look at Matthew, I am reminded that life continues, and so does love. David may no longer be here in the way he once was, but through the letters he left, the memories we cherish, and the strength my son has shown me, I know he will always be part of us. And so, what my son did after my husband passed left me not only speechless, but deeply grateful. He reminded me that even in the darkest moments, love has the power to rebuild, to heal, and to carry us forward.